want to bring in right now Dan Bongino, a former Secret Service agent, and John Lavelle, a Trump surrogate and New York State Republican Party Regional Vice Chairman. Gentlemen, good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good to be here.
Dan, let me kick it off with you. Hillary Clinton tried to, well, first, your reaction to the news yesterday from James Comey.
Yeah, I was stunned. I mean, I have really good, credible sources on this who were shocked as well, were absolutely convinced she was going to be indicted. You know, Maria, there's only two ways to look at this, right? Either Hillary Clinton does not recognize classified information and freely traded it over an open server, or she did recognize classified information and freely traded it over an open server. Either way, she's not qualified to be President of the United States. This was a stunning announcement.
It was a stunning announcement, John Lavelle, and I think as James Comey was talking about it yesterday, giving this press conference, he said so many scathing things about the way Hillary Clinton used the emails. You thought it was going one way, but then he said no reasonable prosecutor would bring this case.
Well, it was quite bizarre, and he also said no reasonable person wouldn't have known that what Hillary Clinton was doing was wrong. So, yeah, it was interesting to watch. That's an understatement.
I mean, clearly, Dagan, there was pressure. We're in the middle of a major, election. What do you think?
I think that it's depressing, and I think that that's the takeaway. Because I was searching for some reaction, not a legal reaction, not even a political reaction. Because, again, the one thing that stood out to me that Jim Comey said yesterday was this is not to suggest that in similar circumstances, a person who engaged in this activity would face no consequences. To the contrary, those individuals are often subject to security or administrative sanctions. So,
but that's not what we're doing today, I think, is how we ended that.
Right. Basically, the huddled masses would probably be indicted and prosecuted, and she is not. Is it a situation of circumstances? Potentially that he doesn't want to change the course of history because she is the presumptive Democratic presidential nominee. And you would have to have a case that you could for sure 100% win if you indict. But again, we get treated differently than the Clintons did.
Well, what's interesting,
that's the takeaway from me.
That's the takeaway from most people, that the system is rigged, Kevin.
Yeah, and I think one of the reasons why people think the system is rigged is that he came on and he's like, I haven't told the administration about this, but they know Hillary Clinton can get on a plane with Barack Obama and go campaign for more funds. And so that was alarming, too, because Obama's scheduler had her scheduled to get on board Air Force One. And so that just reinforced everything that was happening.
I'm sorry, but are we actually assuming or implying that Jim Comey, who's probably the most upstanding guy in Washington, was somehow compromised? His term is not over until 2023, presumably after her first term or Donald Trump's first term is over. Nobody has ever accused him of being in any way in the pocket of anybody else.
No, I wasn't saying that. What I was alluding to is that this administration was so confident that nothing would happen to Hillary Clinton that they could let her get on board of the plane, even if there are circumstances surrounding the email server.
That's the timing of this announcement. I mean, I don't think it's a coincidence that it came on the day that Barack Obama had chosen to campaign with Hillary Clinton. None of this looks good. It once again solidifies the opinion of many people in America that the Clintons believe they're above the law. They've been treated like they're above the law. It's wrong. But at the very least, this was an indictment of Hillary Clinton's bad judgment and her character, her moral character. And it's going to hurt her no matter what. I think the American people are going to rebel. I think this is something that's extraordinary. It's inappropriate. I don't think that Jim Comey is an incredible law enforcement officer. It's not a question of his integrity. So you think the people, at
the end of the day, the people will vote in this come November? You think this is going to impact the election in that regard?
Oh, absolutely, because people are upset at their government. I mean, that's the attraction of Bernie Sanders. That's the attraction of Donald Trump. That's the attraction of all these new people coming out to vote and getting involved in their government.
Yeah.
And they've had it. And this is just another example that's going to solidify that opinion of the average American who's been sitting home on their couch, haven't been voting, didn't think their vote counted. They're going to get up, they're going to be in arms, and they're going to support Donald Trump.
I think it reinforces what you want to believe, right? It's like a Rorschach test. If you think Hillary Clinton's corrupt, you thought she was corrupt 2 days ago, you think she's going to be corrupt till November.
Well, now we know.
If you think she got exonerated because you're a Democrat and you want to believe that she did nothing illegal, then you got what you wanted to. It's like New York's hottest club. It's got a little something for everything.
I think we have to expect more than just that our elected officials and our representatives aren't acting illegally. You know, the immorality trickery and the bad judgment is not what we need in our government here in America.
You mentioned the president campaigning with her. Hillary Clinton tried to shift the narrative back to the election while she was campaigning with the president yesterday. Here's what she said about Donald Trump.
Compare that to Donald Trump. Can you imagine him sitting in the Oval Office the next time America faces a crisis? The world hangs on every word our president says, and Donald Trump is simply unqualified and temperamentally unfit to be our president and commander-in-chief.
Dan Bongino, weigh in there in terms of what Hillary said about Donald Trump, even in the face of Jim Comey's commentary.
Yeah, that's really rich commentary coming from Hillary Clinton. I mean, a woman with a resume of scandal and potential scandal that's 2 arm lengths long. I mean, this is outrageous. Hillary Clinton, you know, having been a Secret Service agent on Hillary Clinton's detail, I find it a little offensive that if I would have shared information 1/100th as valuable as the information she shared on an open server, Maria, I'd be in handcuffs or in jail. I know that for a fact. I've investigated federal cases. Those comments were really just beyond the pale. Very disturbing.
I wonder if James Comey's news conference was pushed up after the Clinton-Loretta Lynch meeting on the plane.
The timing just looked so perfect. Again, it kind of adds to the kind of deep-seated feeling that the entire thing was orchestrated and smelled bad.
Yeah,
I said yesterday, the Lynch and Clinton meeting, the interview over the holiday weekend, and now add to this, this is a dumpster behind a seafood restaurant on a hot summer day.
Yeah.
Like, you better hold your nose.
Right.
I think he was so ticked off about that meeting, and I think he was so ticked off that they put it in his lap and essentially said, "You own this now." Where
he had to come out.
He had to come out and do this. I got to agree with you, Dagan. I mean, look, I'm a Democrat. I can't defend this behavior. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know whether she should have been indicted, but at the very least, I agree with you. This is horrific judgment that nobody should be able to defend.
And for somebody who was known for overzealous prosecution, we can talk about Frank Quattrone, the well-known investment banker. Jim Comey went after him not once, but not twice. He couldn't get him on banking-related charges, and he went after him for obstruction. Hung jury once, went after him a second time, and it was overturned on appeal.
Wow.
Frank Quattrone had a lot to say about Jim Comey yesterday.
Wow. Yeah, good analysis.
Well, this isn't over. I mean, we also have to account for the fact that if these emails were hacked, or if individuals who are receiving these emails, if their emails were hacked, we may see more. So this is far from over, but the poor judgment and the audacity she has to come out yesterday and attack Donald Trump on his integrity is bizarre. But that's the Clintons. Bizarre.
Really important to bring up the possibility of being hacked, because that's another thing that he left the door open there. Basically saying because of the number of devices that she's used, because of the number of servers she's used around the world, by the way, we won't know it, but he did suggest that hostile actors likely did hack into her. But we don't know that for sure. Dan Bongino, John Lavelle, good to see you both. Thank you.